Let's talk about something a little strange about us humans. Why do we go out of our way to do things that are really, really hard? Today, we're diving into what's called the paradox of effort, and it's a fascinating puzzle that gets right to the heart of what makes us tick.
I mean, think about it. Our brains are literally programmed to be efficient, to save energy whenever possible. So why in the world would we sign up to run a marathon? Or spend years learning a new language? Or a complex instrument? It feels like it goes completely against our own programming, doesn't it?
And that's exactly our mission for this explainer. We're going to explore that powerful, maybe even strange love affair we have with taking the tough path. We're going to figure out why we don't just put up with challenges, but actually go looking for them. All right, so to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to rewind the clock. I'm talking way, way back, all the way to our evolutionary roots. You see, for our distant ancestors, life was basically one giant, high-stakes problem-solving test. Figuring out how to hunt massive animals, or knowing which plants would kill you and which would feed you, that took serious brain power, planning, and teamwork. Mastery wasn't a fun side project. It was the only way you got to see the next sunrise.
And this brings us to this really cool idea called the ancestral echo. You know that deep sense of satisfaction you get when you finally crack a difficult problem at work or nail a tough piece of music? Well, that feeling is your modern brain tapping into the exact same ancient reward pathways that told our ancestors, hey, good job, you get to survive. It's the same wiring, just applied to our modern-day challenges. So our history explains the why we're built this way. Now let's zoom in on the how. Let's look at the amazing chemistry that's going on inside your brain every time you decide to tackle something difficult. Now, this right here is super important because a lot of us get this wrong. We hear dopamine and we think it's the happiness chemical, but that's not quite right. It's much more accurate to call it the motivation chemical. Your brain releases it in anticipation of a reward, not just after you get it. It's the neurochemical kick that makes you want to get up and put in the work in the first place. And this creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop. You see, you don't just get one big dopamine reward at the very end. No, you get these little hits all along the way. Every time you make a tiny bit of progress, solve one small piece of the puzzle, your brain gives you a little reward. And each one of those rewards tells your brain, hey, this effort is worth it. And that builds the momentum to keep you pushing forward. And when this chemical drive is working just right, it can lead to something amazing, the flow state. You've probably felt this before. It's when a challenge is perfectly matched to your skill level. It's hard enough that it demands all of your focus, but not so hard that it's impossible. And when you hit that sweet spot, you get so absorbed that you completely lose track of time. You're in the zone.
Okay, so those immediate chemical rewards are awesome, but the long-term benefits of tackling challenges, well, that's where things get truly life-changing. It fundamentally reshapes how you see yourself.
A really key idea here is something called self-efficacy. It's a term from psychologist Albert Bandura, and really it's just a fancy way of saying it's your belief in your own ability to get things done. And every single time you push through something tough, from learning to tie your shoes as a kid to finishing a huge project as an adult, you're making a deposit in your self-efficacy bank account. And that experience builds this simple but incredibly powerful internal story. It becomes, I did a hard thing, therefore I can do hard things. Overcoming a challenge doesn't just give you a temporary mood boost. It gives you concrete, personal proof that you are capable and resilient. It changes your identity. This plugs directly into the amazing work of Carol Dweck on mindsets. Someone with a fixed mindset sees a challenge and thinks, uh-oh, I might fail and look bad. But someone with a growth mindset sees that very same challenge and thinks, awesome, a chance to learn something new and get better. For them, failure isn't a final verdict. It's just data for the next attempt. Now, this all sounds incredibly positive, and it is, but we have to be honest and talk about the flip side, because there is a very fine line between a healthy, productive struggle and the kind of crushing stress that just leads to burnout. So the crucial thing to understand is the difference between what's called eustress and distress. Eustress is good stress. It's that feeling of excitement that focuses you and actually helps you perform better. Distress, on the other hand, is bad stress. That's when things feel overwhelming, way beyond your ability to cope, and it just leads to anxiety and burnout. Often, the biggest difference is your sense of control. So how do we make sure we stay on the healthy side of that line? Well, this is your toolkit. It's all about embracing discomfort as a sign you're growing. It's about setting goals that stretch you but are actually possible.
You have to break down huge goals into tiny, manageable steps, and maybe most importantly, you have to see setbacks as learning moments and connect all that effort to a bigger why.
And that really brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. Our attraction to difficult things isn't some weird glitch in our system, it's a core feature of being human. The real prize isn't just crossing the finish line, it's found in the grit, the learning, and the person you had to become during the journey itself. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. In every tough thing you could possibly face, there's a promise of discovery. About the world, sure, but way more importantly, about yourself. So what's that opportunity for growth out there that's just waiting for you to step up and courageously engage with it?